What's up, party people? It's Tamara. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to focus on the INFP. I really love pouring into INFPs because as an ENFJ, I feel like I understand them, or at least I thought I did until now that I'm making this video. I'm like, wait a minute, there's more to the story than I realized. So I'm going to explore that with you guys today. But INFPs, if you have any video ideas, just put them in the description box because I love doing videos for you guys, but sometimes I don't know what you want me to talk about. So today we're going to talk about INFPs, the serious type. And I could have called it other things, but that's just the first thing that popped into my mind because I recently met or had the pleasure of working with an INFP who was very serious, and I wasn't used to that. And I felt very strongly that she was an INFP, but the INFP that I'm used to is very warm, very engaging, very NF-ish. You know what NF looks like, right? So just you can feel the caring. They exude the warmth and the love of people and humanity, and I always say they're my safe space. They're the place that I go if I just need some comfort, if I need to feel safe, if I need to feel like everything is okay. But this particular INFP threw me for a loop, and it makes me feel like I've missed some INFPs out there, and it's just making me rethink, which is a good thing. But I want to share this insight with you. So this particular ENFP could be extremely serious most of the time, and I was around her in a work setting, and so maybe that's what made a big difference. Maybe she was just in professional mode, but I think it was definitely more than that. I probably would have typed her as something totally different, like maybe an SJ, because I was in a meeting with her and she was asking questions and she was super serious, and I just would not have seen the NF, and I just thought, I'm not going to engage with her too much because I felt this energy of just not inviting me in, and so I just felt like I probably won't get to know this person. But then one week, I did this theme on kindness, and I honestly, between you and I felt kind of insecure about doing this whole kindness theme. Like, are people gonna be annoyed? Are they gonna be like, oh my gosh, leave me alone, go away with kindness, we don't want to be kind? Well, out of the blue, she steps in and brings all this stuff to my office, and she's like, I love kindness, that is my favorite word. And she just took over my project. She stepped in, she brought me all kinds of materials, she helped me put everything together. She was even a little bossy, sweet, but why don't you try this, or what about this, and I have these ideas. And she was just totally competent, and I got to see the INFP emerged big time with glaring lights, and it was so nice. And I found my ENFJ self feeling a little shy, a little hesitant, like, is it okay for me to be ENFJ? Can I be my NF with you? Like, can we join forces on that? And I definitely felt a little bit shy, but we really connected and we did some really, really cool, fun things. And it made me wish that, I had an opportunity that I could have poured into someone with some gifts, and I wish I had chosen her because she really came in and saved the day and helped me build my confidence in what I was doing. And so I just felt like there was this special connection, not that we were friends or anything like that, but a special connection. So after that whole experience, whenever I would see her, I would give her a big smile and hi, how are you, and all of this. But eventually she faded back into this seemingly SJ type person. Like, I would rarely get a smile, and I thought, am I annoying her? Like, is she like, go away, like you're being too bubbly, too friendly, I don't have time for that kind of thing, you know? But I would see peaks of this smiley NF person occasionally, but most of the times I could tell she was in her own world. But that could be because, like, on the special kindness day when we really connected, she revealed to me that she wasn't really happy at our job, and that some parts of it felt like her calling, but then she felt like she was supposed to be in a different direction where she could really sink into what it was that she felt a calling for. And she told me that she felt overwhelmed and that she had been crying a lot, and that she was going to stop doing certain things at the job because she just couldn't handle it. And I also thought it was interesting that she was strong enough to say, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. Me personally, I guess I'm the type of person that, you know, even if I'm miserable, I will finish until the end. But she stopped midway and said, I'm sorry, y'all are going to have to find somebody else for this portion of my job that I was volunteering for, even though she was getting paid for it. And so she just really opened up and shared her feelings, and that she was crying and all of this stuff. And so it was a special connection day. But like I said, after that day, it slowly went back to she's totally in her own world with occasional INFP smiles. And I remember there was a mouse in my room, in my office, which is horrible, right? He came to visit, I suppose. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, me still trying to connect with her because I felt that distance. And sometimes when I'm uncomfortable, I just like overdo it instead of underdoing it. So before I knew it, I blurted out, there was a mouse in my room. And so I was kind of scared. And she said, oh no. And she kind of, you know, snickered a little bit. Then a few days later, I was walking out to go home, and she was too, and she started laughing once we got outside the building. And she was like, Tamara, what happened with the mouse? Did it come back to visit you? And she just fell out laughing, and so we had a good laugh. And so I saw INFP come out, but then it's like the sun went behind the clouds and INFP disappeared again. And so that just left me very perplexed. So I started to fade because I don't want to overwhelm her. I don't want to annoy her. And I don't feel like she's a friend at all. Like, we never even got to an acquaintance level. I just saw the potential. So after that, I just tried not to speak, I tried not to be like, hi, you know. I just kind of look straight ahead and just kind of pretend like I'm in my own thoughts. As an ENFJ, I'm way too curious about people to let that go. It just sends my mind into think, go deeper, figure this out. And just from kind of looking around, doing a little research, I found that INFPs can see themselves as generally serious, even though they may appear laid back, and they don't consider themselves to be funny, like ha funny. And I never thought of that. I never thought about that they're really not connected with any type of comedic sort of thing. There's a warmth that I'm used to, but apparently a lot of them, they don't show that warmth all the time. They kind of keep that to themselves, and they may not be so interested in empty banter because they feel some anxiety in situations that are more social, and they're okay or comfortable with being a loner. Now, I have heard INFPs refer to themselves as a loner. I actually have a really good friend who is an INFP, and I just thought she was different from the norm because she's bubbly sometimes, but other times she's kind of serious to the point, not really into a whole lot of small talk. But I thought that was unusual for an INFP, but apparently not. So they can be kind of limiting in engaging in lots of situations, not just parties. And there are times when you will see them very enthusiastic about everything and really engaged, but they can often be caught up in their own inner world, doing their own thing. And that is the perfect description of this particular lady. They have the ability to engage with people, but they fluctuate a lot in their feelings and their emotions. They feel very strong emotions like most NFs do, but because they're introverted, they can internalize that, and they can be so emotionally overwhelmed, like how she revealed to me about the tears, that they need to go kind of into their own little cave and regroup before they can be social again. And that's typical introvert. I had just pegged them as more of a social type of introvert, because I also know some INFPs who actually love to party. They love to have fun. It's like they're the cousin of the ISFP. So there's just different types. So isolating can be very common for INFPs because INFPs can feel very misunderstood. And that is perplexing to me and always has been, but we're in the same family. We're in the NF family. So I feel like to a great degree that I do understand them, but I know they feel very misunderstood. And I've seen their interactions with some people who do not understand them at all. And so sometimes when people feel picked on or targeted or misunderstood, they learn to shut down and function from a more serious space, because that way I'm not going to give you the opportunity to put me down or make me feel bad. I'm in protective mode, so you're not going to see that warm side of me. And I totally get that. You should consider yourself lucky if you're one of the small number of people that an INFP feels safe with, that they can trust, that they can open up to, because they're going to be selective. And when they, are in a bad space or they feel too stressed or overwhelmed, they can shut down and shut everyone out. So what was surprising to me is that they don't always respond with the emotions that you think that they will. Because I think of them as, hi, how are you? Like warm hugs. But apparently sometimes they're not in that. They're serious, like, hello, hi, it just makes them feel more comfortable. So they can be aware that people might, I saw somewhere where they could be considered to be rude. And I'm like, wow, I never associated rude with an INFP. So they're not going to be just like necessarily like cheering when they hear something fun or happy or exciting. They keep it simple, like a little smile, and then they move on to whatever else they have going on. So it's because they actually have such a depth of emotion, and they don't feel like everyone can handle that depth, and so they learn not to show it. They just keep it to themselves, and that makes me a little sad, but they've been trained. Some of them have been trained that way. They may have been had parents who were tougher, like, stop crying, cut that out. This world is not built for all of that emotion. And so they learn to show their emotions only at a surface level, because some people see them as too intense. And you have to realize NF is a rarer temperament. So the world isn't always embracing of that. They're like, oh my gosh, you're so bubbly. I can totally understand that. But they can have a poker face, and that is so shocking. But I'm so glad that this happened, because it led me to explore them deeper. So INFPs, tell me if you can relate to this, or if this is not making any sense to you at all, and if you think I have totally mistyped this sweet, kind lady who came across poker faced most of the times, but was a very hard worker, super high standards. She did an excellent job at what she did. So definitely check out my book, Flip the Script on Love, if you're struggling in romance. I really wrote this book to help people, and it's from my perspective, so it's going to give you different insight from what you have. And I think romance is a department that we all need lots of help in these days. It's so different with all the, you know what I'm saying. So check it out. I'll put the link in the description box, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.